is that you get, oh, are we in the, okay, all right, well, see you later, have fun on the second map.
Thank you, Moses. Now into the second map of the FaZe Invitational, produced by Nerd Street Gamers. FaZe in the lead by 1 in this best out of 3 semifinals upper bracket over Cloud9. We are moving into Cloud9's map pick, which is here on Ascent. And we do have now zachareeee and company on the defender side to start things off. Attacker to start, another headshot to chime in, courtesy of Marv onto Vice. So that's an early 5-on-4. Moment of salvation is that he got that orb down, but that's pretty much it for Cloud9 for now.
Okay, we talk about this being a defender-sided map. Hopefully we'll finally see some of that actually come to fruition. But that engagement over towards A, that's not a defender or attacker-sided map. That's Marv saying, I'm going to peek you, I'm going to win, and I'm going to get away with it. And that confidence is exuding from Haven. FaZe might even win Ascent for one of their first times based on just pure confidence. Already seeing frag after frag, pistol going good, but Tenz, he's able to answer back. Now the 2v4, and still that spike all the way back towards that fish market. Relyks now going to push forward, tries to win the duel against Corey, does so successfully. For a couple of missed shots, and now it's the 2v3, still doable for Cloud9 considering it's just still the pistol.
Yeah, thankfully for that wall, that's going to split up a bit. This coming in for the attackers, but it's still Relyks. Breaks the door, headshot onto babybay, drops towards the logs, but gets tapped down to low HP. Even Tenz dropping down into the site, gets the kill onto zachareeee. They'll get the plant, but they're both so low, and it's going to have to be the Omen to try to rotate across, and it is going to be Marv moving forward, has the paranoia to work with, and both of these two players for Cloud9 set up a crossfire in the back of the bolt room for the garage. First one spotted, paranoia not even needed, and now he throws it towards the back of the site. Tenz is going to get affected, but he's not making any noise. Now he goes for the cloud burst. Better position for Marv, gets the kill in the clutch, and it's going to be FaZe Clan winning this pistol on the defender side.
Listen, I don't know how convincing it's going to be once the gun round starts to come in, but you know, there's a lot that we still have yet to learn from FaZe Clan and their decision to play Ascent. Let's talk about one of the biggest changes to FaZe Clan's Ascent. Do you notice anything different about the agent composition? That's right, it's Corey off of the Reyna, which in my opinion is the best decision they've made in this entire tournament. Because now you put yourself in a position to say, okay, it's not working, let's change it and let's dominate.
It's still a tough one as well, though, because you don't see a lot of Rays being played on a map like Ascent. Right, we kind of have, yes, it's not as good as a flash. It's nearsighted. zachareeee with an entry kill there, or defender at least on to Mitch as they're trying to get the control towards this mid side and also towards B for Cloud9. But it's still going to be Relyks that's going to try to tally it back up, but it's still the defender's going to work. There's Rawkus with 2 Marshall kills, and Marv with the last one here for the team. But as I'm trying to say here, that maybe the showstopper is going to help a lot at this point for Corey and company, but I still believe that a Lear would be kind of nice for this lineup. In terms of trying to get some entries, right? Because now, what kind of flashes like you have? You only have the paranoia from Marv. If he gets picked off early, now switching over to Corey, they have different flashes to work with, with the curveballs too.
In my opinion, the Phoenix curveball is way better because it flashes everyone and your mother in a 5 million kilometer radius. The moment you throw it, everyone cannot see anything. So, and with the Reyna, it's so easily to dispatch that Lear. While I agree in certain instances is good, but on a map like Ascent, it's kind of a 50-50. You know, it's either going to work super well or just be completely shut down. And from what we've seen from FaZe before is that Reyna is shut down. And you talked about it in the pregame. We need Corey to have a good game. Yes, Marved is going to pick up the slack. Yes, Rawkus is on some whole nother, you know, Fruit Loop cereal this morning. He's just popping off here against Cloud9, but Corey also needs to perform well to have a good performance for FaZe Clan.
Relyks trying to move forward now for the attackers of Cloud9 as, like you mentioned before, what is going to be the round now that Cloud9 has money to work with. But then again for FaZe, babybay just around the corner at the fruit market, swings out and is trying to get that kill, tags him down to absolutely nothing at this point. Because they still have a heal here. I got to jump there towards my screen too, but I think that heal should have came back from the Sage. No, Sage is all the way towards long A. Sorry, my confusion there. But Rawkus is in a great position towards this A side, inside that cubby. A dark cover to try to cut down that time. But you do have Tenz trying to run in, a Paranoia coming through, and Vice and Tenz opening up towards his A side. You do have forward play inside that garden. He's trying to slow it down for a bit, but it's still going to be Cloud9 able to make it inside the A side to get the spike with low time remaining.
zachareeee got the areas here. He's going to try to at least spray through anybody down below in the rafters. I mean, that's relatively enough information to say that maybe someone's not in hell. So as a result, they can at least play a little bit more forward towards the site. But as you're starting to lose members left and right, not really going to be around that I can really expect Tenz going to get involved. The jumping classic doesn't work out. I think I'd respect zachareeee to land his shots a little bit more than just jumping up and hoping that the classic works out. The Cloud9, they answer back. The gun round goes their way. So we'll see how FaZe Clan decide to answer back. And considering the economy's not really in the greatest place, it's going to be down to the sheriffs for them.
Yeah, that's it. But the economy is not too bad moving into the next round. That's what I was trying to figure out there on that third round. How much were they able to upgrade with pistols before into that third round? And it seems as though after losing that one, they've invested enough so that Cloud9 could put them on some sort of eco. So you still have a couple of sheriffs, though, for FaZe Clan on the defender side, and they're looking to push aggressively because it's a Paranoia. But Shinobi gets spotted as soon as he comes out of it, gets 2 kills. The crossfire comes across, Rawkus through the smoke as people are jumping through, and it's going to be FaZe that wins that fight. zachareeee now, the last man standing, playing out, is looking to get some damage done. We'll start things off with the frag onto Vice. A 2 versus 1 remaining at this point as the last 2 players of Cloud9 are rushing into A to get the spike down.
Listen, I'm going to be completely honest. Those of you that may have seen my tweets about my power rankings of the qualifying teams, I put Bloom at the top. And the reason why I love Bloom is because their ability to do some insane damage on this eco round is huge. Well, look at this. Down to zachareeee with the sheriff in a 1v2. Cloud9 have lost so many members and a lot of weaponry that they carried in from that gun round. That's rough. The economy is going to bounce back for FaZe. They're going to have a gun round. And Cloud9, who knows how much they might have to buy. Yes, it's 2 that survive, but you don't really lose that many when it comes to rounds like that. So I like the play that they did, pushing up through the middle, finding the picks that they needed. Now they've got weapons, but on the opposite side, yes, they have weapons to answer back, but the economy is low. It's within range, and if FaZe went around, they can snowball that.
Well, let's see if they can have it, right? Look at this valiant attempt here. The flash actually grabbed 2 guys, but unfortunately, Corey with the pistol wasn't as crisp as he was on that eco round to get any of the kills before. They pushed in as a group to get a couple of trades, but they were able to keep Cloud9 guessing and on their toes here on the attacker side. The recon dart is not going to find any information to start, but they are able to find information of their own with 2 players, make that almost 3 that were spotted there towards the A side long of Cloud9. So that is FaZe getting a lot of information. So they're now cheating 3 players towards this A side, even 2 players looking to push aggressively towards this catwalk. It's going to be Corey, and it's also going to be Marved, and it's going to be Marved that gets the headshot onto Relyks. Now they're still pushing forward, taking control of mid. It's going to be Tenz towards the back of that side, but as they see nothing, they fall back into the site, really want to use the numbers advantage in their favor and not continue to aggress.
I like this aggression from FaZe, but we've seen with the Reyna that it doesn't always work out the way that, you know, we expect it to, and especially as they push forward, they get punished, and that really was one of the reasons why I think their Ascent was super weak. But it's these types of plays that now they can position to flank. That tripwire is set up for a push that comes from A, not from the other way around. And so Marved and Corey, yes, they are now pushing forward. They're going to avoid that tripwire. They're going to have a super long behind. See how they defend. babybay finds one. zachareeee with another. That's still going to be babybay that ends up falling from Shinobi, but they need to get onto the site. Marv, back of sight. Corey pushing in from the fish market. There's a tripwire that's in their way. Now, as they jump in, seconds left to play. They need to clear out back of sight. Mitch is down. That's going to be Shinobi. And so FaZe Clan close things out here and give themselves the round lead, 3-2.
Just a great way to use her ultimates there for FaZe Clan. babybay, knowing that he's going to die, right? Because of 4 players about to push forward into the site. He gets the first kill onto Tenz, throws a neural theft before he dies, so he gives the information for his team, while zachareeee throws a Hunter's Fury. Meanwhile, while all of that is happening, you still have an Into the Shadows from Marved who goes towards the back of the site. So despite them losing 1 player, he's wasted enough time for babybay at that shed to give a chance for Marved to get a better position towards the back of the site. Cloud9 knew that, but it was 2 1-versus-1 situations versus Marved instead of a double peek that gave a chance there for FaZe to get this round.
Shut down.
Cloud9 set up with a little bit of a split. 2 towards the B site, 3 towards the A site. Don't think they want to let some of that information kind of go to waste as they did previously. For FaZe Clan, they're not playing towards the middle this time around. Ori playing a little bit further back, giving a lot more space towards the catwalk, but with caster vision, we know that Cloud9 is preparing for an aggressive push towards the A site. If they're able to find a pick, then they're definitely going to commit, but if Rawkus is able to hold the line here from Heaven, in combination with Marved, who's playing towards Hell, Cloud9 might think twice about pushing forward. Mitch is just delaying up toward B. Here comes that's going to be Relyks up above in Heaven. There's a lot of space room to get up there. Corey, though, he holds the line. Now Relyks drops down. He takes out Marved. Rawkus backing in. Op shot doesn't connect. The Relyks shot will. And now it's the 2v3. Mitch, he's going to try to flank in from behind. I don't think they expect this. And he might see one running, but just barely misses him. So now, FaZe, they can take this 2v2 before Mitch arrives, but they need to do it quickly.
Yeah, even with the doors being closed, or the door being closed and Mitch on a big flank, it's going to be a tough one right here for these 2 players to try to retake. And now as they spot nothing there, Cloud9 in a better position on his pulse plan. zachareeee watching the flank himself, just trying to figure out where Mitch was at. But now it's going to be full frontal action for these 2 players trying to move forward. But a Frost Orb and a Recon Dart is putting them out of position. zachareeee is going to have to come up huge. He passed that spike, trying to move forward. He's trying to get a couple of damage, at least a few kills before the spike will go up. And he did it. He did his job. The round is going to come in no matter what here for Cloud9, but he forces every single player, with the exception of Mitch, to die on the exit. And that's going to be an expensive round for Cloud9 into the next.
And I felt like I was watching a late night rerun of Saving Private Ryan, because zachareeee is just like, listen, man, just go.
You got
this. Yeah, you go. Corey, just run. I'm gonna. He put his body on the spike. It exploded with the C9 members as well. And of course, yeah, like you said, Cloud9, they win the round. But looking at the scoreboard, if we can have a quick visual of it, the economy is not too bad. But for the side of Cloud9, it's low. It's low enough that if FaZe Clan can finally push them over the edge, they can again snowball their lead even further. Or sorry, not snowball a lead they don't have it.
From a run it back, super passive play, but you already saw the pre-fired shots coming in from Corey. I don't know if there was retaliation coming in from Cloud9's part at that push, but at least now they're going to decide to fall back towards this mid, where they're falling into babybay, where he's waiting from the market side. Paranoid now from Skylar, or from Relyks rather, as babybay is waiting for this cyber cage to dissipate, but a smoke is going to come down. Corey still gets the kill on from catwalk, but it's traded off by Relyks at this point. babybay does get support here from zachareeee with the Odin of all weapons right now that he's using towards his B side. But our neural spots the defenders, forced to fall back in a different position. But Mars still gets a kill towards the A side, spike. As now Relyks retaliates back onto babybay. They're all moving forward as Relyks gets another one to zachareeee. It's a 2-versus-1 into the site. Rawkus now the last man standing, trying to see they're pushing inside that area. But now as he's going to hear the spike plant being planted towards B, we'll soon find out if he wants to try to go for this retake.
In my opinion, I think Relyks is probably the biggest X factor here for Cloud9. Still running and still gunning. He worked his way up through the middle. He found 2 picks there, and that third one was off of the, it was through the smoke. He's just like, I'm going to anticipate that someone is still there, and it works out. So now, Rawkus maybe looking to get into a position where he's either looking to defend himself, maybe looking for exits. Unfortunately for him, on the opposite side is the tripwire, which he could probably just updraft over. For Cloud9, they continue their lead. It's back and forth, and for FaZe Clan, they need a little bit better than that if they want to have a good half here on the defender side.
No, definitely. They're doing really good right now for Cloud9. They try to bounce back into this game after such a one-sided affair on that first map, and Wtfmoses almost predicted that correctly. Even though he called it as a meme, a 13-0 was so close for FaZe on that first half, right? It almost ended up being, what, an 11-1 until it finished 13-3 in favor of FaZe Clan. So into this round, they'll still have an operator to work with, where Rawkus is going to use the matter into his own hands and play more aggressively towards his B side, while the rest have Sheriffs to work with for this FaZe team.
You know, coming into this map, this was something that was either going to be answered very quickly or take some time to develop. And I still think we're waiting for some more from FaZe Clan on Ascent. We know that this is not a map that they're good on. On the opposite side, we know that this is a map Cloud9 is comfortable on. But still, I think that FaZe Clan still have steam left in the tank. And they're showing that with some of their strategies. Already we're seeing Corey and Marv get into a little bit of an engagement. Tenz falls, and that's huge. Now they have the man advantage on an eco Vansilli. That is massive.
I just love how FaZe played that round. We'll talk about it as soon as this one's over, because we still want to know what's going to happen here, because they still have a 1-man advantage for FaZe. The orb's about to get picked up by the attacker side, but as it's going to be a curveball being thrown forward, a res to come up as well. Some damage onto Relyks, so it's back here on a 4 versus 4. The advantage comes back in for Cloud9, but a big flank is coming from the Cypher all the way from spawn. It's going to be babybay. He's going to hear the footsteps back. No, actually, they're walking forward. So he doesn't really know if swing, and Shinobi predicts that. So they get the kill. You still hear their spray coming from the Phantom, and they're looking to book back towards his B side for Cloud9. But let's continue the round here, Simo. We'll talk about that defensive play from FaZe.
Yeah, so we are looking at zachareeee being one of the very few members that is still alive, holding on to this contact point. It's the Hunter's Fury that's trying to clear out the site. Rawkus, that's a wall actually that allows him to cross. I was like, wow, that's a great wall to stop the attack, but it just gives him safe passage through. That's gonna be zachareeee trying to spray through. Actually tags one, but now with that spike going down, the rest of the team will be here to join. Wow, that's a shot from Corey, takes out Relyks. If they can pick up that weapon to upgrade, that's gonna be huge. While they work their way through the left side, it's Rawkus off to the right, using that up to try to survive. And now, as they chip through the ice, the barrier orb will fall, and on the opposite side is Shinobi. You find one, you find two. Now it's just down to Rawkus. Will he play exits, or will he try to brute force his way through? The operator, of course, he wants to keep it into the round to follow, but as the spike ticks down, Shinobi peeks, that shot's good. The rest of Cloud9 know where Rawkus is playing, and now as they try to peek, they're going to try to peek together. Vice, not really sure why he's playing alone. Mitch needs to come and support him. And if they swing together, they might be able to take him. That's one shot, that's good, but it misses. Vice finds Rawkus really close, actually stalls enough for both of them to fall, and now everyone down to pistols. Cloud9 has enough to buy, so does FaZe. It's another gun round for the books. Yeah, it's definitely a good way to reset right now to make the round also important for both of these teams, actually. But that eco that they had for FaZe, they did their job, right? They had the operator in hand from that previous round. They went for a 3-man push, and that Owl Drone tagged one but saw the other two, so that was the call for Cloud9 to say, let's actually rush towards the A side. Little did they know, though, that Corey and Marv were waiting with Sheriffs just around the corner where the orb is at, and they're able to get 2 kills, almost 3. Marv actually got caught with basically a smoke in his hand, so they couldn't really get a third kill, but Corey did get the second one off the screen. But this time a big curveball as everybody sprays forward, and they both get picked off. Now Marv, near side, still gets 2 kills with a headshot before he gets dropped by Relyks. And just like that, it's a 2 versus 2. Relyks moving inside the site. zachareeee with the Owl Drone, looking for where the opponents are. He at least tags the spike carrier. Actually, he teleports all the way towards the B side. They're running it back, and they haven't seen a solo at least. So Shinobi is still playing in basically ninja mode. And you do have the spike coming in from Relyks at least, but he has to rotate quick. Relyks has to do his best with only 10 HP to try to stay alive as long as he can, and he doesn't. Now you're going to hear Shinobi booking it across. He wishes he had an Odin at this point, but he doesn't. So the defuse will come through, and FaZe will get the round. Like, I get that play, but if you're Shinobi, you're like, damn. I can't do anything now at this point. They just rotate faster than he can, you know? Like, think about how far he had to go. And even if you went through the courtyard, there's a risk that one defensive player pushes from the fruit market, right? They take the angle from Pizza, he's caught running, they take him out, and it's even worse for the side of Relyks, and he can't really do a whole lot if he's just on his lonesome, right? But great play there for FaZe, holding down the line, and really it was just Marv. Even flashed, regardless of the scenario, he's put in a position to succeed. And now we're looking for a pretty good setup. More control from FaZe to at least clear up the middle. And little do they know it's Cloud9 playing the same orb control. Corey gonna likely find them, or at least clear this early on. Marved in a difficult position. Tenz actually whiffs the blade. He's gonna take him out. Raise down to 1 HP. He'll be taken out, but now it's the 4v4 retake that the FaZe have to work with.
Spike is still looking to go down. babybay rotating with his teammates, but another frost orb being thrown here by Mitch is going to slow them in their tracks just for a bit. As that dissipates, we're still waiting for this rotation to come in from Corey. Still, Rawkus is watching that flank. Oh, the timing. As he turns away, Mitch makes it around the corner. So now a big flank is going to come from Cloud9. So the rest have to stay alive for as long as they could on this crossfire towards this A side, with even one towards the heaven. And here you go. As that cloud is going to dissipate, Mitch is about to walk through. Two of his teammates are falling down, but Relyks is doing his job inside the heaven. Now he gets the third kill, and there's Mitch with that backstab on that 1 versus 1. They did their job for C9 to allow Mitch to get this backstab. They put the point on the scoreboard, and we now have a 6-4 scoreline. Still pretty close here on this first half.
The key difference being is that statistically, you and I know Ascent to be a defender-sided map. So once Cloud9 get their hands on that, that is where the biggest question becomes. Can FaZe continue to keep up the same back and forth that Cloud9 is keeping up now in that second half? And that is really where I really start to wonder, what can FaZe bring to the table? We've seen some great strategies from them to kick us off, and I'm already liking the Phoenix pick way better than the Reyna, but still, you need to have a good showing in that second half to be successful. So far, 2 rounds, of course, remain. This is the first one of the 2. Cloud9 changing things up, looking towards the B site, see how they defend here. zachareeee has the Sheriff. Don't really have the weapons to deal with Cloud9. Tenz takes out 2. Spike going down, and Cloud9 likely to win another round.
Yeah, they did enough. They saw enough from an Owl Drone and a Paranoia, seeing that the pistols are in and they don't really have upgrades for FaZe inside that B site. Now it's going to be Marved and Corey looking for some Sheriff exits again. But it is going to be the 7th round on the attacker side for Cloud9. Rawkus trying to do something with the blade form. Unfortunately, does not connect. Marv's still trying to push forward. They're okay to continue to push, right? They only have pistols at this point. Shinobi gets 1 and Tenz the last one. And that is going to be it for this round. Cloud9 continues to move forward with the lead by 3. And like you said here, Simo, yes, once they take to the finish side, it's going to be a tough beat for FaZe, because the last time versus Sentinels, if I'm not mistaken, earlier on this morning, they were able to get 8 rounds versus Sentinels on the defender side. Then when it came on to FaZe taking on the attacker side, they didn't take a single round. No, right? So now, on top of that, there's a potential that they only have 5 rounds for FaZe Clan instead of 8. So it could be even harder for them taking the defenders or the attacker side on the next half. But then again, I don't want to do predictions because I don't want to bite me in the ass.
Well, it was the same against the 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves was on the defender side. They just kept so much cooking. zachareeee, though, deploying somehow, some way, the Hunter's Fury, it lines up behind that fish hut there, and he's going to find an early pick. That's good for FaZe. You know, at the end of the day, they want to finish this 7-5. It increases their chances moving into that second half. But looking at the setup here, a lot of resources set up towards the middle and the B site. Cloud9, though, as we have Caster Vision preparing towards this A site push. Little do they know, when Marved is behind, shot to the chest will send him to the graveyard, and things even back around. It's a 4v4. Cloud9 are looking for an opportunity to push in towards this A site.
Yeah, Corey's still looking to avenge his teammates, right? As Marv went for the flank, didn't pay off. Now he has to watch the flank. So that weakens the defense towards the A side, where there's only Rawkus waiting with that operator. But Rawkus with the operator, and I say only, sometimes that could be enough. He sees Tenz jetting into the site. Cloudburst with Corey with the crossfire before the door closes, and it's traded off. A self-boost from Mitch with the wall, retaliates with the op onto Rawkus as well. So we now have a 2 versus 3 on the attacker side's favor of Cloud9. Spike is about to go down. Pre-fired shot through the wall to see if we can connect here from babybay. zachareeee also has the Odin trying to work in, and they have a neural theft. If they get an early kill, they can throw it, get that information, but they have to act quick.
Yeah, Spike sticking, babybay gonna lead that charge. Unfortunately, Lycam that catches babybay pushing forward. It's the Odin here that's prepared for this potential pick Cloud9 made. Mitch Relyks find the shot down to babybay, but turned his back for Vice.
You will not kill my ally.
They win 8-4. Now moving on to that second half, this is where, like we were saying, things get really scary for FaZe. And, I don't know. I don't really know what to say here. Cloud9, they pick Ascent, of course, right? But FaZe got to pick side. So my question becomes,
this is a nice spot.
Do you suck it up in the first half and play attack? Or do you start with defense, try to get as many rounds as possible, and then turn things back around? That quote-unquote get as many rounds as possible only netted them 4. Mind you, it was close, but Cloud9 still come out with the round lead, and now they're on the favorable side. So we'll see how FaZe Clan react and how they prepare for this pistol, because winning the pistol would be huge for them.
So that's it. Trying to get as many rounds as they can on the defender side first, and in only 4, it's not good. And even despite the ball, as Shinobi gets the headshot into the B main, but they did spawn the Omen at the same time. So Marv trying to get things done. Rawkus moving forward with him. Shinobi around the corner as the Paranoid gets thrown. They drop the spike for a second time. This time Rawkus jumps up, picks it up, gets the spike down at least. A 3 versus 4, low HP at least for this retake for Cloud9. So moment of salvation for the attackers of FaZe. 2 in the back of the garage. Camera, hot hands, forces them back. They can still spray through the hut if they want to, and Cloud9 may do the same if they have ghosts as well. Big smoke now towards the back of the garage as they are now closing in towards the staircase side, but Rawkus gets one. Traded up by Tenz. Shinobi is making a dream alive here, but Corey still alive on this 2 versus 1. Solo, they're pinging it right now. He gets the first kill, trying to look for the second one. Off the defuse. It is going to be Relyks, but he already defused it halfway to get the headshot. Come in, and then put the round in for Cloud9 on the defender side. Sorry.
Huge for Cloud9, and that continues their momentum forward. You know, let's be real here. We talk a little bit about how FaZe can try to come through on this attacker side, and winning the pistols, win condition number 1. So now looking forward, Cloud9, they win the pistol, likely going to win the round to follow. We've seen how some of these eco rounds can really go well for FaZe Clan, but Shinobi, just great positioning. And of course, it's the rest of the team in the back of site that at least delayed this long enough, and Corey almost had the opportunity. You know, I almost think in that scenario, just shoot the spike. You know,
no more
just shoot where you think the spike is, or have your team ping it out, because I think he might have actually would have been able to clean up around if he had tried to do that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were pinging at that point too, but as he got the first kill and shot a couple more bullets and not connecting onto a second one, I think that's why he thought his opponent was off the defuse at that point too. It's tough in the defuse. We can see it from a caster's point of view, but with that, it's going to be Cloud9 sweeping up that second kill easily, as it seems as though it went for a full save for FaZe at this point. So getting the spike plant on the first one, buying nothing on the second one rather, and now they're able to go with full rifles into the third. But Mitch already comes up here with the operator for the team on the defender side, and that's the interesting part too. Sometimes we see Tenz going with the operator, but Mitch has also played very well with the operator in the past too, when they actually finally decide to give that role over to Tenz. But maybe on a map like Ascent here, you will see Mitch opting for the team.
Tenz pushing a little aggressively towards the fish market, at least trying to gather some information. And look at all that utility used. I think there's like, what, 2 or 3 smokes there? Just holding off the retreat there from Cloud9. So early looks means now Cloud9 are rotating out of there, and they're going to work their way up through the middle. And previously, sorry, it's FaZe that's going to work their way up through the middle. Sorry, my apologies. And for Cloud9, normally what we see from FaZe is maybe a little bit of aggression, right? You know, looking up towards the courtyard, peeking up towards that altar orb. Cloud9, they play a little bit of a different style of defense. A little bit more respect, a little bit more pulled back. And you and I have seen this personally before. The desire to just fight for retakes instead. You know, have an anchor, have somebody that's willing to just fight for the site, and then the rest of the team play off of the picks that either come in or that anchor is taken out. In this case, it's Relyks. He's about to have a world of hurt coming in from FaZe. Smokes go in. And how many frags will he get? Recon bolt spots him out. He gets tagged here by it. Now pushes forward. That's going to be Corey that takes him out. And this is the fight now taken. Shinobi just trying to spray through the archway. Not going to find anybody. And now Cloud9 has the duty for the so-called retake. Let's see how FaZe prepare in the post plan.
Well, FaZe are preparing it quite well, actually. They're in great position for a trade-off on to the B main. They will break that off here. The camera to come up as well. They have a bit of information, at least for Cloud9, but they're still not really moving forward. Finally, Tenz does so, and he seems to be the only one that's trying to make a bit of damage here on this B side. Everybody else still pulling back towards that spawn. He gets that first kill. Albert, I guess he can still updraft the wave, but he only gets one kill out of that. Shinobi looking to move forward, trying to spray across as well. But you know that spike is going to go off. You know that FaZe live to fight another round. They're going to have the 5th onto the scoreboard.
No more.
I think in a kill onto Marved at least. And mission is successful for Shinobi.
Five to 10, the score line. But for FaZe, they can at least be happy about putting a round on the board. You know, you definitely want to win the gun round, and for the side of Cloud9, while, you know, Shinobi was able to get a little bit of damage done, it's still the economy that's in a really weird spot. But fortunately, still everyone will at least have something to work with. Phantoms, not too shabby. Shinobi back down to the Ares. We'll see how much armor he ends up buying, because he has enough for some if he wants it.
Get out of my way!
Not a FaZe. They're splitting up here, gathering some information. Tenz gets active, and Marved will take him out. A great reaction there coming out from FaZe, putting us down to the 4v4, but still undecided what site FaZe want to take.
Seems as though it's working back towards this B sign as they're moving forward, but Mitch is still posted there with that operator, and he's looking straight towards that spawn. You might have the first one getting spotted here and caught off guard. He gets the first one, backstab onto Marved, and still manages to run back on time because Rawkus, off that timing, was just around the corner when Mitch fell back. But the thing is, Mitch doesn't fully fall back. He's posted up on a different angle here, playing more positioned operator, kind of like House Cadoodle plays. And now with that wall bang coming through from Corey, he's going to put that wall up, some frost orbs on the ground to help his teammates rotate as well. At least we do have the orb being picked up here for the attacker side, but that does not charge up the Hunter's Fury for the Sova.
Now I like this call from FaZe. Listen, that's not going to work out. We're not going to waste our time. Let's just hit A fast. Relyks hears the trampling of footsteps coming through, and he's ready with the paranoia. This is definitely what you not want to be in, but he gets flashed himself. Has to reposition. Dark cover comes through, and now has to wait for the rest of his team to come in to help with the retake. Of course, Corey going to position himself below Hell, but there's already 2 members above him, and they don't really realize that. They're going to just spray him down and have a successful time. Corey trying to spray through. Zachareeee actually sprays through onto Vice, but still it's the 2v3 man advantage for Cloud9. One up in heaven, and the other 2 going to be working their way through the ground. It's going to be one that shoots in with a shock dart in. Zacharee's going to fall. It's Shinobi that takes him out. Corey still alive. The spray cannot connect onto the second or the third. It's Cloud9 at 5-11.
Yeah, definitely a tough one to win there for FaZe at that point. Booking all the way back towards the A side. They kind of knew that coming as well from Cloud9 with the time remaining too. So as they get the spike down and trying to get a better position, you're not in a good way to be able to fall back all the way towards A main or towards the catwalk side too. You just have to turtle close to where you planted the spike. And from then on, a double into Hell is probably the best scenario that you could have had for FaZe, but it doesn't pay off in their favor as Cloud9 was just better on that retake with the numbers advantage too. So now they're going to be at 11. Cloud9 looking to get the revenge here from after, as Moses called before, a spanking that we saw on that first map versus FaZe on Ascent, on Haven, sorry. They're looking to bring this to that third map on Split, and they're looking to do this convincingly too.
Rawkus ready with the Blade Storm, and of course, aren't really having the most ideal weaponry for the side of FaZe. And Cloud9, they're sitting pretty in this second half. And
nowhere to run!
As the Hunter's Fury comes through, Vice gonna actually almost get tagged by that second, jumps out safely. Zachareeee gonna help really provide some chaos for FaZe to push in. Relyks now gonna reposition, but unfortunately loses his life in the process. Now Tenz, he's gone as well. This is a rough round, but still defense can come through. Rawkus slices through the opposition and finds new. Mitch finally stops the bleeding, but at what costs? It's the 4v2. Spike is down. Cloud9, do they want to just back away, save the weaponry, and let FaZe have this one? Seems to be the case. And you know, the biggest question mark for us here, Vansilli, was when we got into that second half, would FaZe keep it close? Yes. Yes, they would.
Yeah, they definitely did well in that round, right? The forced buy that came through on into their favor. babybay only having a share, even salvages a Vandal into this round. But it came down to it's okay. If Rawkus didn't have money, he has the Blade Storm. And with the Blade Storm, he's able to help the team get those openings. Oh, how close was that? FaZe almost died from that spike plan. I thought maybe he thought he was safe at that point too, and it just inched on the side of his trench coat pretty much. So he's able to stay alive, so the economy is not hurt that much there for Cloud9 at this point. Well, it looks like sort of is, actually. Tenz is going to have to play with something low, probably like a Judge at some point too. Shinobi going for the Odin. He has just enough here to go for a Judge, but it's going to be a drop rifle instead from his teammates. So that is going to be now 11-6 in favor of Cloud9, with FaZe a nice comeback lead from that round. But overall here, it's still a tough one for them to take as Corey catches Tenz. Tenz thought he was going to be able to get the surprise attack from that updraft towards the A main, but it is going to be FaZe saying, nope, we're going to take the man advantage into this round.
Relyks going to reposition to try to give a little bit more space for Vice to work with, and for the side of FaZe, that was an aggressive play from Cloud9, and you know, normally we saw some of that coming out from FaZe on the defensive side, constantly fighting for that orb control. And Tenz, he was alone there, completely alone. I mean, there wasn't really anybody there to help back him up, nobody even there really following up. And so as a result, there was two there. Not even one was able to fall. So great stuff coming out from FaZe. And now they're preparing for this B push. Smoke comes through from Relyks. It's a long distance. Shinobi ready for at least to try to tag one. Does so, and may be able to get that frag, but does not. And FaZe have control of the B site. Likely going to try to play for retake now. Corey, he's behind. He's sprinting in, but he hears footsteps. He's going to see one around the corner first.
Sorry, bro.
ADS seals the deal. One more. That's
Oh
two.
my God.
That's three. That's four. Corey now going to swing. Mitch waiting with the op. All Corey needs to do is play for time. And Mitch maybe wants to save the operator. But for Corey, he's already done his job. Now trying to retreat is Mitch. Corey with the swing. He gets tagged. Wall going to be going up. And he's just going to retreat. But it's the hot hand. There's the jump. And Corey burns Mitch alive for the ace. And FaZe Clan bring us 7-11.
What can you do right now at that point with Cloud9 into that round when Corey is able to go for such a big backstab to get 4 kills immediately on that flank? So it comes down to what was happening in Cloud9's defense to not actually watch each other's backs here. So a great job by Corey, at least, for that lurk that he played from the mid side into the garden to actually do get that flank and that kill. Or those kills, rather. And again, I guess it comes from that surprise player, right? From Tenz. Losing that player early into the round gave so much map control and allowed Corey to go for that lurk play. So into this round now, because we were trying to save the operator into the next round, that doesn't work into their favor for Cloud9. They are, as a group, trying to push forward. We have them closed up and crossfired into the site. Corey getting 2 kills, and again, the pistols are at least going to work for Cloud9. They get 4 kills out of that, traded by Rawkus, but still only 2 alive for the defender side of Cloud9, and only 1 even for Rawkus at this point.
1 minute still left on the clock, and can definitely double back towards this B site, though on the rotation back may come into some trouble for the side of Cloud9. Even once they realize that Rawkus has rotated over, they can just pick up some weapons. But the biggest factor that now comes into play here is timing. When will they realize that Rawkus has rotated? And secondly, how much time will they have to upgrade some of the weapons that are on the ground? And will Rawkus have enough time to get into the post plan? So we're already starting to get some answers. It's a late rotate from Cloud9. They haven't even left the station yet. And for Rawkus, he gets a free spike plant and may even come out victorious with this round. It's super key where he gets into position. So they're actually going to pick up some of the weapons. They're going to upgrade. And it's going to be a pretty interesting retake now for the side of Cloud9.
No, definitely the better play for Cloud9 at that point, right? You only have pistols to work with. They know you're on an eco at the beginning of the round by being able to see your money. And now you gamble it out. You allow the plant to get planted towards B side, so you can pick up some weapons and move as a unit, and you know you're playing against an operator, so you can still play for a trade. But he gets the first kill onto fight, knows the second one's inside the site, and it seems as though Shinobi's still jumping across, and you see him walking all the way around. Shinobi's already starting off there halfway, point. Drop in the air. The shorty does enough work to keep him off the spike, and even Rawkus gets the kill. A nice attempt there for Cloud9. A great clutch for Rawkus for Team FaZe. But again, what I was trying to finish towards my sentence was that if they actually gambled to stay towards the A side and Rawkus tried to come through and get the spike down, they could double swing into the site with the pistols. But now they used the weapons into their favor, try to make it a 2 versus 1, and it was just a nice pick. But the thing is, okay, so he jumped and turned around because he knew the op was actually aimed on him, so he was trying to bunny hop away. So I see how Shinobi was trying to play that 1 versus 1 because he still had a knife out in his hands. Yeah.
Okay, Vansilli, it's another gun round. We had a lot of question marks for FaZe's attack, and it seems like it's not doing too bad. However, if FaZe Clan win this round, we'll see how they find picks. Mitch is holding with the option. Might find an early pick. Missed it onto Corey, and that slow orb will give him some time.
Joke's over! You're dead!
But they're starting to get a little bit more involved. That's going to be the clone that dissipates. Shinobi going to find one onto babybay. It's still trying to salvage the round is FaZe Clan. An important round to salvage. The rest of the defense are now starting to push through. Rawkus holding this angle as the rest of the team going to try to clear the site. This one playing Mitch. It's the op, and it finds its mark. The patient has been revealed. Marved is in trouble, and it's really FaZe Clan struggling to break through onto the site. The double op play is too nasty. Rawkus, he's going to pay with his life. And look at this. They've already set up on this A site. It's going to be zachareeee, clears up so much space. Relyks going to follow up. zachareeee will answer back. Oh, a little close. 1v3. zachareeee, can you do it? That's going to be the jump out. Finds one. There's still another. That's 3. zachareeee, no way. Now it's the 1v1. Mitch on the upside. Oh my goodness. He kills himself. He kills himself. No. Oh, feels bad, man.
Now I think for the first time in the Ignition Series history that we do see a player kill himself with his abilities. Unfortunate there. We saw a couple of TKs with abilities maybe, but a first self-kill. But you can't take anything away from that, right? zachareeee did a great job, as much as he could, to try to bring this round back into their favor. A nice play from at least into the channels to get or try to get a plant down towards the A sign, but Relyks did the same thing as he teleported towards Wine to be able to catch Marv and prevent him from planting. So a great round for Cloud9, getting it at map point, but it's still very close here where FaZe are still putting up a way better fight on the attacker side here versus Cloud9 than they did versus Sentinels earlier on today. So let's commend them for that so far. We have money to work with. They are pushing into the G side. 100 security come out here from the attacker side of zachareeee. He's looking to connect, but a kill is stolen away from Corey. Mitch is still in the back of the side. Drill that to come down. The knee of the Cypher peeks out too, but babybay pushes in, and he's now we're trying to go full range. Mitch is still alive, switches over to the Classic, and finally Corey takes him down. It's 3 versus 2. Vice moving in from the staircase as well. It's now a 2 versus 1. zachareeee then gets picked off by Vice, and Cloud9 get the round, and we are moving to